Hi, everybody. Welcome into the High Noon Report. I am Pugs Moran. We do this every Monday through Friday, for the time being, starting at about noon-ish. That's why it's called the High Noon Report this week, and for the foreseeable future, I should probably point out. We're going to be a little bit out of schedule. You people used to get mad when we were like 4 minutes late. No, the show's going to be popping up at different times throughout the day because we have a bit of a schedule thing going on here at the 1%er compound where we have people, things are happening. So just please bear with us. Today, we are lucky. Today, I thought that we weren't going to get a show in. Today, I thought there was going to be, maybe at the very least, I thought maybe it would be another 3 o'clock show or something like that. And I understand how much that sucks. I understand because, the thing, it's consistency. So you listen, we've been doing this for 2 years now, and a lot of you have been listening every day at 2 years. So I understand that this becomes something that, I'm not going to say depends on, like I'm important to you, but it is something that you get used to and accustomed to having at a certain point of day. And then, maybe at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, you got something else that you do. And now I'm just popping up like, hey, you don't get to like this show, because now I'm doing my, you know what I mean? I don't mean to do that to you, but it's the way it is. And here's the beautiful part about this. You can listen to these shows whenever you want. You don't have to catch them live. You can catch them at any point of the day. What is this show? Well, it's a rundown of all the day's headlines, hot topics, current events, buzzworthy topics, whatever they're screaming about on the TV news box or whatever it is that people are buzzing about incoherently in line at Starbucks. That's what I'm going to tell you about. I'm going to give you all the information, not all the information. I shouldn't overstate it. I'm no expert on this stuff, but here's what I promise you. I'm going to tell you what people are talking about. I'm going to tell you, at least to the best of my investigative skills, why they're talking about this subject. And then I'll give you a quick little hot take on what I think. Here's what I think. Okay, so that's what it is. You're not getting, expert analysis. You're just getting little, what I like to call cocktail party knowledge of all the day's events. And what is cocktail party knowledge? Okay, good question, since it's a word my partner Kelly made up. It's the ability to be at a cocktail party with many different types of people, all in their little circles talking. Cocktail party knowledge is the ability to bounce from circle to circle and know at least 30 seconds worth of stuff that you can hang and bang with them on. You know what I mean? Like you go, oh, these people are astrophysicists. Well, I certainly can't talk to these people about but I can probably fake it for 30 minutes. And if there's something in the news concerning astrophysics, you bring that up. Hey, I heard today. And then you move on to the next group. Maybe the next group, fashion designers. Get my point? That's what cocktail party knowledge is. You don't really know what you're talking about, but we'll give you enough to be able to fake it at a cocktail party. This show is also me, if you haven't noticed. We've been on the air now for about 3 minutes. The show is also just me screaming into the microphone with no breaks, no commercials, no songs. Dramatic pauses, of course, because, I need that. But stream a rant of consciousness, as my friend called it. He's like, dude, that's not a stream of consciousness because everything is on topic. A stream of consciousness would be, I'm like, okay, because it's a rant of consciousness. I'm like, okay, I like that. That's fine. So it is a 2-hour exercise in futility. That's right. I can do that. I can just talk for 2 hours. I don't need anybody else. I'm an only child. I've been doing this my whole life inside my head. All I'm doing is making my move with my lips and tongue, form words. This is it. I can do it. As I say, it's not really a good skill to have, but it is. It's the one I got. Should we get started? Let's get started. Let me remind you that this idiotic show has been going for 2 years based on your tips and your support. So if you can tip the show in any way, shape, or form, that would be a really big help to us in what we're currently going through. And I believe y'all Southerners call it a come to Jesus conversation that has to be had. And the come to Jesus conversation is really close. Because this show ain't doing it. At some point, it's just like, dude, what are you doing? It is costing you money to do the show. You're not getting support. You've got wonderful people who you rely on every day to sort of be your audience, but we're just not getting enough support. This show, I think I did the math. I need to be able to make $30 a day off of these 3 hours of streams. Like $30 a day would be what I need to make this justifiable. And yeah, I don't even, that's $10 an hour. That's less than minimum wage. I don't even get that. So here's what I do promise you though. I'm gonna do something, not every day. I mean, there's a reason people do podcasts once a week, because they have real jobs. You know, they go out and they do other things. So that's the come to Jesus situation that we're talking about with this show. It's just it's difficult. End of the month. I haven't been pushing this month because I hate to push. I'm not a freaking reverend, right? I'm not trying to save your soul or steal your money. Man, I just watched the last episode. Here you go. This is the rant of consciousness. So I watched the last episode last night of Telemarketers on HBO Max. Have you guys been checking this out? Telemarketers. It's a 3-part, like, I think it's all there now. So you can binge it all if you have the time. It's about these two crazy, actually one super crazy, like drug addict, heroin addict, completely messed up dude. Do you guys know, like, telemarketers, like the people who do those jobs? Those people are like oftentimes convicts who can't get jobs anywhere else, or drug addicts and stuff like that, because there's such a high turnover rate, and they're always paying. And it is an awful job. As a younger man, I've done a couple of tours in the old telemarketing room. Once when I was very young and didn't know what the hell was happening. It's terrible. Anyway, telemarketers on HBO, on Max. Incredibly eye-opening. It's these two guys who used to work at this really bad telemarketing firm, who years and years later, now one of them's a filmmaker, and he's going back and he's got all this. He wanted to be a filmmaker then, so luckily he had a lot of raw footage from back in the day of stuff that was happening in these caller rooms. Oh my God. It's all a scam. It is all a scam. If somebody calls you, "Hi, Marge, I'm calling from the Pennsylvania Fraternal Order of Police. How are you today?" These people are taught how to sound like cops. They're taught how to answer questions so that people think they're cops. And then, okay, so you give $20, right? Because, there's a local officer in your county who's having a really tough time. And they get you to give them $20, and you give them $20, and guess where that $20 goes? Doesn't go to the police. Well, like 10% goes to the police. 90% goes to the telemarketing company, because that's their operating expenses. And that's legal in the charity game. 10% goes to, like, the Fraternal Order of Police. And then do you know what the Fraternal Order of Police use that money for? Limousines and parties and bars and golf outings. Telemarketers on Max. You guys got to see this. It is, you will never, and they purposefully prey on the vulnerable, the old, the lonely, the mentally ill, the mentally incompetent. I told you a story. There's one guy that they profile in there. He made like $80,000 off this old man who had Alzheimer's, because he called him every day and got him to give him another $1,000 every day. And the old man with Alzheimer's forgot that he had talked to him the day before. And this dude took advantage of it. So what I'm saying is, I understand when people are hesitant to tip and to help out the show and all that kind of stuff. Because, man, there are so many scams out there. There is so much nonsense. It's very, you got to be careful. So I understand. But this show was designed to run on viewer support, like a PBS thing or something like that. And it's just not working out. I'm not even making $10 an hour. Which, by the way, this show is brought to us by Peter Lufkin. I'm giving names now because we're going out. Peter donated yesterday. Gave a nice tip. Thank you for the tip. First tip in 3 days. All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the show, and that's it. See, I hate doing that stuff. But that's the ugly reality. That's the behind the scenes. I know a lot of people tune into the show every day. It's going away. It's just, there's no way. We need to make like $450 or four something like that, $400 a month, and we're like $400 short. And it's the last week, and it's a Labor Day weekend, so we're gonna have to figure out another way of doing this. And I appreciate all of you guys having been here. We're gonna continue doing shows for the foreseeable future, but it's gonna be chaotic, and I just don't know. What I'm telling you is, a month from now, I don't know that this show's gonna still be here, because. And you know how much I love it. So let's move on. Let's forget about all that stuff. Let's go with what the show is. Let's enjoy what we have left. This show is a dying old man. So let's enjoy what we have left, and let's just let's go through the day. All right, it is the High Noon Report on Pugs Moran. It is 8/29/23. That's the 29th day of August, year of our Lord, 2023. 241 days have gone by in this year. There are 124 left. So get those New Year's Eve plans started. Okay. Let's see here. First thing that we do, we like to give you all the events of the day, right? We tell you what's trending and all that, but we also go back in time. The first thing that we do is a little segment we call Previously On, or if you're fancy like me, Erstwhile on This Day. It's a look back at all the events that have shaped this day. All right, class, let's gather around. Let's look for patterns. Let's look for rhythms. On this day in 1898, the Goodyear Tire Company is founded in Akron, Ohio. Got really nothing to rant on about that. Goodyear tires. That's on this day in 1912. Check this out. A typhoon strike. What's a typhoon? Is that a hurricane? It's a hurricane, right? Like a typhoon is a hurricane. They just call it a different thing in a different part of the world. I don't know. Typhoon hit China on this day in 1912. Killed 50,000 people. 50,000 people got wiped out on this day. On this day in 1966. Oh, here's a big one for music fans. Like Barney's like, this is why podcasters sell coffee. Yeah, it is. But podcasters will sell anything. And I get it. I totally get it. I won't. I won't. And that's my problem. And that's why it's my principles are killing me again. On this day in 1966, here's a big one. The Beatles performed their last concert before paying fans at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California. That was it. I believe, well, actually, I think that's the only Beatles concert that when you see footage of it, it's in color. That one's in color. They're wearing like Nehru jackets and stuff. They're a little bit different looking than they were when, they started off at Shea Stadium or the Ed Sullivan Show. By the time they got the Candlestick and they were like, yeah, we ain't touring anymore. This is stupid. These people ruined it for us. How did you enjoy? Okay. So think about going to a Beatles concert at Candlestick Park on this day in 1966. You're not hearing anything. Do you know how bad sound was? Those stadiums were not built for having concerts, not like they are today. Today they are. They weren't built for having concerts. It was a wooden stage on second base. This is what the setup was at Candlestick Park. It was a wooden stage on second base with a bunch of amps. Oh, they brought a couple extra amps. I mean, that's it. And then the crowd was like going crazy. You weren't there for the music is my point. That was a whole phenomena. That was a whole culture thing that you just got swept up on, kind of like people who protest. And, there were people at that Beatles show that weren't crazy about the Beatles, but they went because it was a thing. It was a big event, like protesters. Half the people that are protesting aren't there because they really care about what. Hell, I bet a third of people protesting and show up out there carrying signs and yelling about stuff. They don't even know what they're protesting. We're joiners. That's part of us as humans. We join things. On this day in 1997, okay, this is kind of funny, but I'm going to make fun of a guy who's dead, and I love him, but that's okay. On this day in 1997, Netflix is launched as an internet DVD rental service. You're a Netflix? Remember you used to get, I was never a Netflix. I wasn't a Netflix member. I didn't even use Netflix until it all became streaming, But do you remember, like, people, you'd walk into someone's house and on their dining room table, they'd have a couple of Netflix. It looked like video store boxes. It was like Netflix was a video store that you shopped online. And then here's my problem with that Netflix business model. And I apparently would have been wrong because it certainly turned into something else. My problem with that business model is that I think that when you choose a movie, I think that you want to be able to watch it instantly. Like the old Netflix model was, oh, this looks like something I'd like to watch now. And then it comes in a day or two. And you're like, yeah, I don't want to watch that now. It's like it's a mood thing. But very successful. So my friend, told you I was going to make fun of my friend. My friend, like this is like probably 2017. So 6 years ago. Yeah, it's a long time if you're 12, but when you're my age, it's not a long time ago. So my friend was still getting like Netflix My friend Gary passed away. He was still getting Netflix delivered in the mail, even though he had like, Netflix media. He had a media room, and he had everything. But he was still getting it delivered in 2017 because that was the habit. As he and his wife, she would pick things out and she would send for him, and they'd come, and he's like, yeah. And I remember he was really upset, or what? Yeah, there was about the prospect that it would stop happening through mail, like that it was only going to be online. He didn't like that. It's like he probably still had an AOL address too. I'm just saying he was a man of habit. There you go, 1997. There was a world. That's right, children. There was a world before Netflix. On this day in 2005. Here's a big one. Here's a big one that again, we say we look for rhythms, we look for patterns. Woo! On this day in 2005, Hurricane Katrina devastates much of the U.S. Gulf Coast from Louisiana to Florida Panhandle, killing up to 1,836 people and causing $125 billion in damage. Rhythms and patterns, right? Okay, so in 2005, America got crushed by a big hurricane. Here we are in 2023 on the very same day, and we are awaiting another very big hurricane. We'll get to that when we talk about the hot topics. Let's see here. That's going to do it. Okay, so them's the big events. By the way, yeah. Wait. Give me a second here. We're going to get into Buana, Buana, Buana. They claim it's their birthday. Buana, Buana, Buana. Let me check the dates. We don't have music rights, so I got to sing stuff. I saw a spokesperson for like the Florida Hurricane Center early this morning on CNN. And man, it was one of those things. I was in the other room, going to the bathroom, having my morning constitutional. So I couldn't see her, but I could hear her because she was on the TV in the other room. I'm listening. And this is a person, she had the worst grammar. I have never, this is someone who is working in the capacity of a person who was informing the public in an emergency situation. And she was just, I'm sure she's nice and I'm sure she knows her job, but my God, it was just like, ain't gonnas and it was just terrible. So I'm like, who is this talking? This is, you gotta, if you're gonna, my point is this, look, I speak like that. I speak like that because my whole whatever, I'm just kind of like a regular guy, and that's fine. I'm not a scientific state spokesperson. And this person, if I were, I would, probably try and clean it up a little. Yeah, I wouldn't be so folksy about the hurricane that's coming in. Anyway, let's do some birthdays. Let's talk about some people who were born on this day, and let's start out with a grand lady. How about 1917? My God, how old was Wheezy Jefferson? Isn't that who Isabel Sanford is? Isn't that Wheezy Jefferson? I think she is. She was born on this day in 1917. Whoa. No, or wait, who was Isabel Sanford? She was Wheezy Jefferson, right? I got that right. See, why am I doubting myself? Who played Wheezy Jefferson? Boom. Isabella Sanford. Okay, I was right. I thought I had that. All right. So Isabella Sanford. Isabel Sanford, born in 1970. 17. So she was 53, 50. Okay, so she was in her late 50s. Who was George Sherman Hemsley? How old was Sherman? What I'm getting at is, was there like a major age difference between these two? When was Sherman Hemsley born? Yeah, a little bit. Ask Google. 38.
February 1st, 1938. According to IMDb, Sherman Alexander Hemsley, Air Force veteran and actor.
There was a 21-year age difference between George and Wheezy Jefferson. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that there was a 21-year age difference? Wow, that's weird. All right, happy birthday, Isabel Sanford. I still liked you. Yours was Wheezy. Born on this day in 1920, Charlie Parker, American saxophonist. They called him Bird. He loved heroin. There was a movie made about him starring Forrest Whitaker. I don't remember it. Born on this day in 1935, a guy that we did a draft for just a couple of weeks ago, William Friedkin, American director, producer, and screenwriter. We did the draft already. Remember French Connection and The Exorcist. Anyway, William Friedkin, happy birthday. You're dead, but still. On this day in 1936, the world welcomed a little baby into the family of the McCains. John McCain, American captain and politician, born on this day in 1936, ran for president. I supported him when he ran for president until he picked that lady. And I was like, yeah, nope, that's a little too obvious of a, I'm willing to do anything to win. Nope. Okay, John McCain, born on this day in 1936. Born on this day in 1939, celebrating a birthday today. Hold on. Gotta refresh. Little cotton mouth. Man, I don't know why I'm so thirsty today. Whew. Born on this day in 1939. We're doing a draft for him. Yeah, we are. It's Joel Schumacher's birthday. Hey, hey. Joel Schumacher was born on this day in 1939. Joel Schumacher, he falls into a category with a John Landis. I like John Landis. Joel Schumacher. He falls into a category of a director who is not in my top 5, probably not even my top 10. But that's because his movies weren't like, Scorsese's movies or Tarantino's movies or Kubrick's movies. Joel Schumacher, simply put, Joel Schumacher made a lot of movies when I was going to the movie theaters every week. Joel Schumacher, if you were Gen X, if you grew up in the 80s, Joel Schumacher is your guy. So here we go. Let's get into a Joel Schumacher draft. This is where we look at the works of the great American director and producer, screenwriter, and we rate them. We apply the NFL draft template, and we look at the filmography and the works of an individual, and we draft them. Number 1 being the first pick off the board overall. So let's get started. Joel Schumacher, the first pick in the Joel Schumacher draft for today, The Lost Boys. That's right. See, I told you, not a great movie, but if you were like 15 when it came out, you liked it, and it's burned into you. You know all about it. Lost Boys, number 1 off the board. Number 2 off the board, I'm a Brat Packer. That's right. St. Elmo's Fire. Joel Schumacher directed. Love that movie. So stupid. Such a bad movie. Tried to watch it with my son a couple of years ago, and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, why am I showing this movie to a 12-year-old? He doesn't even date yet. Anyway, I myself admitted that it was really cheesy after rewatching it. But still, St. Elmo's Fire. How about number 3 off the board in the Joel Schumacher draft? Falling Down. Oh my God, what a prescient film that is, huh? Falling Down, Michael Douglas just slowly losing his shit over all the BS that he has to deal with in his everyday life. What was his? He worked for a defense contractor, and he was just a regular guy. He had a pocket protector and the glasses. His license plate on his car was Defense because he worked in defense. Falling Down, Joel Schumacher, number 3 off the board. Number 4 off the Joel Schumacher draft board, we're going to take Flatliners. That's right, Flatliners. A young Julia Roberts. It's about people dying. I was fascinated by that movie. Flatliners is legitimately a good movie. There are some subplots and some nuanced sort of messaging in that movie about religion and faith and all that. That's pretty good. Flatliners, not bad. All right, number 5 off the board, the last one that we're going to take here in the official draft for the Joel Schumacher filmography. We're going to go with number 5, the 5th pick off the draft from one of his first films, a movie that I saw probably 100 times as a child growing up in the 70s and 80s, Car Wash. Working at the car wash. Richard Pryor was in that. I don't remember anything else. I just remember I was like a white kid in the suburbs, and that movie used to come on, and I used to be like, okay, yeah. I was fascinated by it. It was like a completely different, I'm 5. You know, I got a bike. I can go around the block, and it just so happens I live in a suburb that we don't have any black people. So it was like car wash. I was obsessed with car wash. I was obsessed with blaxploitation film in general, but I also like the ones that were more mainstream. And by that, like Mahogany. You guys ever see Mahogany? I'm like an 8-year-old kid, and I'm like, Mahogany's pretty good. It's a love story with Billy D. Williams and Diana Ross. Lady Sings the Blues. How about Bingo Long? Oh, I think I put Bingo Long in a draft recently. Anyway, I love all that stuff. You know what? Maybe that's a podcast. An old white guy remembers blaxploitation. Let me write that down. That might be worth something. Probably not. That's the draft. That's the Joel Schumacher draft. Lost Boys, number 1. St. Elmo's Fire, number 2. Falling Down, number 3. Flatliners, number 4. Car Wash, number 5. But do not be deterred, Schumacher heads. We are bringing in some films for a look-see at camp. The undrafted free agent camp invites. That's right. There's a bunch of those from Joel Schumacher. How about The Wiz? Remember The Wiz? I'm going to ease on down the road. Remember The Wiz? Schumacher worked a lot with. Who did he work a lot with? Anyway, The Wiz. I just had a weird blurb thought there, but then I realized it was wrong. And I'm like, well, I can't say that. That's wrong. That's stupid. Okay, so just pause. And I paused. And I was like, just explain it to him that you don't know what you were wrong. All right, here we go. Undrafted free agents. The Wiz, The Incredible Shrinking Woman. Remember that? Lily Tomlin. She got really small. That was cool. I was little. Probably a dumb movie, but I was little and I liked it. Also getting a camp invite. This movie is incredibly dumb, but I loved it. DC Cab. You guys remember DC Cab with Mr. T? Joel Schumacher made that. DC Cab. Oh, who else was in DC Cab? Oh, you know who was in DC Cab? Do you remember those two? Bodybuilder brothers? They were twins, and they were in like 80s movies. Like anytime you needed like, hey, we should have a bodyguard. Oh, what if we got twins? And they're like these two, and they had long rock hair, and they were really. Anyway, those guys were in it. Who else was in DC Cab? You know what? I don't know. Let's just put the entire cast of the A-Team in there because I don't really remember it. But it's coming to camp. DC Cab getting a camp invite. What else is getting a camp invite? I think that's it. I think that The Client. The Client. He did The Client too. The Client's good. Yeah, but the law movie. All right, there you go. That concludes our Joel Schumacher draft on his birthday. Born on this day in 1939. He's dead. He was like 80. I think he'd be like 83, whatever, 84. All right, who else is having a birthday today? Born on this day in 1941. Also dead. Oh, my God. Didn't know he was dead. I mean, I knew he was dead, but I've forgotten that he was dead. This happens all the time. Will you mourn someone for like a second time? Because you're like, oh. Although I'm not really mourning this guy. This guy was kind of a chode. He was kind of a D-bag. But he was fun. And I remember in the 80s, I used to watch him all the time. Born on this day, Robin Leach. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Yeah. And you know what kill you? He was such a con man. And he was a con man. He was a con man. He was a legit con man. Like he worked in the legitimate world, but he was selling you something all the time. Was he Australian? Because I got to think about Australians. Never buy anything from an Australian. We can have a beer and I can explain it to you. It seems to me that Australians, no. Anyway, Robin Leach. Here's what kills me about him. Do you remember that show, Celebrity Wife Swap? There used to be a show. There used to be a stupid reality show where they'd take like D-list celebrities and their wives and they'd make them swap. No sex, I don't think. I don't know. That would have been a probably more interesting show. But no, it was just like, this is how we do things in our house. You know, and it was like, oh, this is not how we do things in my, it was that kind of show. Stupid, except it was celebrities. So on one episode, it was Robin Leach and his wife Joan. And they just kept calling her Joan. And he's like, yeah, well, we've been married now for 10 years. And Joan was hot. Like Robin Leach at this point was like 80. And Joan was probably like 50, but hot. And I'm watching this. And I'm like, why aren't they calling her Joan Severance? That's Joan Severance. That's not Robin Leach's wife. Because, you know, that I went. I'm like, is Robin Leach married to Joan Severance? And it's like, no. I mean, look, I know reality shows are garbage, but He didn't have a wife. He wanted to be on the show. This is what I mean about being a con. He didn't have a wife, and he's like, okay, it's all right. We can pretend. I pretend all the time. So, he went out and like got like a 1980s Cinemax, Cinemax After Dark, Showtime After Dark actress who was Joan Severance, who probably only a handful of pervs from the 80s like myself would recognize at 50. But I recognized her. He went out and he's like, no one knows who you are, and you're hot, so you can be my wife. And they did a whole show on it. I'm like, you can find it on YouTube. Robin Leach, Celebrity Wife Swap. Him and Joan Severance. I'm like, she's kind of more famous than he is. Anyway. All right. Born on this day in 1940, James Brady, American politician and activist. He activist after he got shot in the head. Remember James Brady, Brady Bill, what a sad thing. That guy, press secretary, walking out with Reagan. No questions, no questions. Man, and he was young too. He was young and he lived a whole lot of years in that wheelchair with that, just brain. God bless him. All right. Anyway, let's keep moving on. Born on this day in 1947, one of my favorites, James Hunt. Yeah, James Hunt, English race car driver. Hunt was cool. Hunt used to do, well, okay. So Hunt, here's how cool you are, right? If you're going to be a cool guy. James Hunt was portrayed. You know who plays James? Thor. They went and got Thor. I don't know what his real name is. He's a Hemsworth, but there's a couple of them, and I'm not sure of their names, and I'm neither a girl nor a gay man, so I don't really pay much attention to the Hemsworths. But they got a Hemsworth to play him, James Hunt. What was that movie called? Rush? Was that Rush? The story about Niki Lauda and James Hunt and their legendary Formula One battle. What was that, 76? 75? Anyway, whatever. Happy birthday, James Hunt. But again, also James Hunt, he's dead. He died in 2014. That's too bad. Who else do we have? James Hunt. Oh, here's kind of a big one. Born on this day in 1958, Michael Jackson. We could do a Michael Jackson draft, but I wouldn't know where to start. Would it be like Michael Jackson draft? Weirdest things Michael Jackson ever did. Okay, all right, let's try that. Weirdest things Michael Jackson ever did. I don't know. Elephant Man's bones? No. Okay, and do we include like... Oh God, there's so much, and I would really have to think this through. You got the Elephant Man bones. You got the taking Emmanuel Lewis as a date to the Grammys. That was weird. And okay, so if you say it wasn't a date, they just went as friends. I'm like, okay, then I'll say this. Treating Emmanuel Lewis like a pet at the Grammys, that was weird. You cannot deny that. Okay, I'll back off from it was a date because that's a bit, provocative. But even, when they went, do you remember that? Do you remember when he carried him around like he wasn't allowed to bring his pet in, so he just went and got a human that was pet sized, and he was like, "Look, I'm at the Grammys with Emmanuel Lewis was in a tuxedo." It's just weird. Okay, that's weird. What else did he do that's weird? Man, there's a lot of stuff he did that's weird. Anyway, moving on. Happy birthday, Michael Jackson. Born on this day in 1959, Rebecca De Mornay. She was now she's the prostitute in Risky Business, right? That's who she is, and that's basically all she's ever done. Born on this day in 1971. Here's one of my favorites. I love this chick. I interviewed this chick once. Chick, shouldn't call her that. Like, no, she's a chick. She'd be totally cool with it. She's like, I am a chick. I know a lot of girls who are totally cool being called chick. I don't think that's a bad one. I don't know. It's 2023. What's bad and what isn't anymore? You're basically reducing her to an infant chicken. Okay. I never really thought it through like that, but here would be my advice. Instead of telling me and everybody like me who doesn't really go that deep on these kinds of things, why don't you just not let it bother you? How about you just recognize that me calling her a chick is not me reducing her to it's just a word that has been programmed into our vocabulary over years. Well, program it out. No. I mean, here we are. That's 2023. That's where we are. Carla Gugino. She's a cool chick. Yeah, I said it again. I like her. Carla Gugino, I don't know. She's in everything. She's never been famous for any single thing, but she's in a whole bunch of stuff. She's always really cool. She's really pretty. She's not like, I don't think she's like sex bomb Hollywood pretty. She's pretty, but she's cool. she's always got these. You know where I think she might be the most memorable? Hey, we got any D-bags here? Any D-bags remember Entourage? I do. I'm such a D-bag. I rewatched all of Entourage. I like that show. That show's funny. I'm sorry, that show is funny. I don't care. In 2023, what they did. Oh God, can we stop it? Entourage is a very D-bag show, and I love it. It's a guilty pleasure. She played. She had like a whole season where she was on Entourage. She played the hot agent that was trying to steal Vinny Chase from Ari, and I think she did steal him for a while. And then Vinny Chase and her hooked up. And then, of course, everything went sideways. Born on this day in 1971, Carla Gugino. Go ahead, Google her. You know what I'm talking about. You'll see her. She's one of them. You know, we have those that guy actors. You mean them actors? Yeah, okay. All right. You know, you have that and them actors. She'd be like a that girl actor. Like that girl. Or, excuse me, that chick. All right. Born on this day in 1986, Leah Michele. Let me say something about Leah Michele. Leah Michele was wildly talented. Tell you something else about Leah Michele. I'm really not familiar with her work. I just know that people say she's wildly talented. Leah Michele. How do I say this? She's got like this Streisand thing. Like she wants to be Streisand really bad. Like she's obsessed with her. I read something about her once. And like I said, I didn't watch. She was from Glee, right? I mean, she's the girl from Glee. Then she's on Broadway. She's still a name in some way. I don't know why, but she is. She's like she's got a nose. She's got a nose. Beautiful girl. She is a beautiful girl, but she's got a bigger than normal nose, and she doesn't get it fixed. And that's like, whoa, I think that's kind of cool. Barbara Streisand was the same way. Barbara Streisand was advised her entire life, get your nose fixed, and she's like, no, I'm just going to be the big nose hot girl. And that's kind of like, but every time I look at Leah Michele, I go, she really would be like unbelievably beautiful. just a little bit of proportion. That's whack on her face. Anyway, happy birthday, Leah Michele. Don't go get her a coupon for a nose job. She doesn't want it. She's herself, and that's admirable. All right, let's talk about some people who have died on this day. This is where we go through the list of people who have dropped off the face of the earth on this day. Their inner light, their lifeline flamed out on this day. We don't really. Here's what we do here now. We look at them and we think, they ain't heaven or hell. That's the easiest way that we can do it. So let's get started. Dead on this day in 1877, Brigham Young, American religious leader, second president of the Church of Latter-day Saints. He is absolutely 100% in hell. Oh, what are you saying? Why are you being anti-Mormon? Okay, go ahead, moron. Jump to conclusions. Not be an anti-moron. I have a strict rule. Anyone who considers themselves a leader of a faith, they go to hell. Because I believe that's blasphemous. Because I believe that any good Christian knows and has only one leader. Any good Jew has only one leader. So yeah, Brigham Young. He's gone. Now, I'll do this for reverends and popes and all that stuff. Oh boy, here we go. Is a pope different? Is a pope different than a guy who just went, I don't like farming, I'm going to start a religion? Like, is a pope different than that? Because a pope is sort of matriculated through things. I don't know. Look, hey, I'm a complicated guy, and these are complicated times we live in. Everything needs to be thought through thoroughly. Brigham Young, dead on this day in 1975, preemptively. He's in heaven because I'm the one that decides in this game. Eamon de Vera, president of Ireland, one of the founding fathers. He and Michael Collins, they butted heads a lot. But, look, I can see both sides. I'm a Michael Collins guy. I'd have been with Michael Collins. But they were working for the same thing. It's just they had different ideas, right? Eamon de Valera was more of a diplomat. He was like, let's talk about this. We won't blow up any more police stations. Let's talk about this. And then Michael Collins is in the background going, no, I'm totally blowing up more police stations. You guys keep talking. I'm blowing up police stations. So that was kind of the problem. But Eamon de Valera, great Irishman. Dead on this day in 1981, Lowell Thomas. Now Lowell Thomas was a very famous person. Everybody knew who Lowell Thomas was at one point in time. You know why? Because Lowell Thomas is how everybody got their news. Lowell Thomas was the narrator for News Scopes. News Scopes used to air before movies. People didn't have CNN. People didn't have, they had a newspaper that came out in the morning, maybe radio. I guess there was some like radio news, but you would go to the movie and you would sit down and they would be like, news of the world. In France, the Allied forces are, and it was all narrated by Lowell Thomas. Lowell Thomas. I had to do a thing in college. We had to do a thing, and I chose Lowell Thomas. So I had to learn all about him, and I had to watch all of his stuff, and I had to break down his narration technique and all that. I found him to be very interesting guy. Lowell Thomas is going to heaven. How about this one? Dead on this day in 1982, Ingrid Bergman. I don't know. Here's my problem. I know she's a name. And I know that she's known as a great beauty, right? I don't even know what she looks like. I can't imagine. Close your eyes and picture Ingrid Bergman. I can't. Here's the other problem. Ingrid Bergman, Ingmar Bergman, Candice Bergen. I don't know. I was very confused as a child. They were all like one is a director, like Ingmar. I don't know. There's like a he's like a famous Swedish director. I don't know where she's going. So I don't know anything about her. I think Ingrid Bergman was the actress. I don't know. I know about as much about her as I know about Garbo. These names from the past that are like, I know they're a name and I know what they did for a living. I can't tell you anything more. I can tell you Greta Garbo was reclusive and an actress. Couldn't name a single film. I don't know what. She's not famous for any role. She's not Dorothy in Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean? She's nothing. Dead on this day in 1987. Let me tell you this about this guy. He's dead. He died in 87, as I just said. If Lee Marvin ain't in heaven, I don't want to go to heaven. I don't want to go to heaven. If Lee Marvin was a dude. He was one of them dudes. It's one of those guys where it's like, yeah, he did a lot of cool stuff, but then you look at his life and you're like, yeah, all right, Lee Marvin's in heaven. He's cool. I like Lee Marvin and James Coburn. They're to me, they're very similar guys. They're again, Hollywood, they always got one in reserve. Let's see here. Dead on this day in 2007. Again, preemptively, he's in heaven because really, man, Richard Jewell died on this day. Remember Richard Jewell? Man, did we screw that guy. That poor dude. He was just, you know what he was? He was a schlub. He's just a schlub. Richard Jewell was just a schlub, man. Trying to figure his life out. Knowing that the only thing that he wants to do is be a good guy. That's what he wanted. He just wanted to help and do good things. And, he volunteered for a lot of charities and stuff. I mean, he was a good dude. And then we saw him and America decided, let's totally make him the villain. Let's blame him for everything. We blamed him for the Centennial Park bombing. We know it wasn't him. It was Eric Rudolph, right? We know, he was totally clear. His life was destroyed. Richard Jewell, idiots who never hear sorry. By the way, breaking news. It's not Richard Jewell. We're sorry. We didn't mean to put that in. Idiots who hear the first part never hear the second part. So it's like this guy, Richard Jewell. The idea of how screwed over he was not, I don't think it was ever fully understood. I mean, I know they made the movie, right? Clint Eastwood made the movie. The movie was great. But man, Richard Jewell's in heaven. Because you know what? It's open that gate and go, dude, we are so sorry about what happened down there. Humans are garbage. Yeah. Also dead on this day in 2016, Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder and Gilda Radner. If I had a list of favorite celebrity couples back when I was 5 or whatever, 10, 15, whatever. I don't know. They were around 70s, 80s. They would have been on it. They would have been on it. Here's what you're wondering. You're probably going, I expect Pugs to do a Gene Wilder draft. And I'm going to be honest with you. I love Gene Wilder. Don't get me wrong. I think he's what a nice man. He just seems like such a wonderful man. Like whenever you'd see him in interviews and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't crazy about him though. Like as an actor, like as a guy in him, like I just wasn't crazy about him. I get what was it? Willy Wonka, right? Okay, so that would be number one. That would be my number one pick off the board. Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka. Maybe Silver Streak, Stir Crazy, but those are all like, heavily dependent on the presence of Richard Pryor. He was great when teamed with Richard Pryor. He was great. He just wasn't, not somebody that like I go crazy for. Gene Wilder was funny. He was he seemed like a wonderful man, and he died on this day. So, the way he took care of Gilda when she was sick, he's in heaven. He's got. What was that? I just hit the microphone. All right, here's another one. This guy, I don't know where this guy would be. We're going to have to consider this. Dead on this day in 2021, Ed Asner. Oh, man, I want to put Ed Asner in heaven. But I imagine that old son of a bitch, he did some things in his life that, he might be in hell. Like Ed Asner seems like the kind of person who over the course of his many years on this planet has heard others say to him, you go to hell, Ed Asner. You know what I mean? I think like, cause he had opinions and he was really, I think we're going to have to put Ed Asner in hell. I like him. I don't agree with everybody that goes to hell, but yeah, he was kind of, whatever, moving on. All right, that'll do it. Those are the birthdays. That's all that good stuff. And all the things that happened on this day. Are you ready? Are you ready to move on to today's topics? All the things that people are talking about? Okay. Once again, I remind you at this point, tip the show if you can. Let's see if we can't get it going. We are desperately behind the 8 ball this month. Really bad. I mean, the show's going to end, and I typically don't use rhetoric like that, but help out if you can. Today's show's produced by Peter. Peter dropped a tip yesterday. I'd like to be able to say 5 people dropped a tip, It's a cup of coffee, pizza delivery guy, whatever it is. Help out the show if you can. All right, the big story. Hold on, let me make sure I have all this. Okay. Let's see here. The big story trending. Let's get into the things that are trending today, The big things. Idalia is trending. Hold on, we got this on right now. It looks like DeSantis is taking charge. He's talking on CNN. Let's see if we can't listen.
Like a Cedar Key, some of these others along the Big Bend. You're talking about really, really significant storm surge potential. I mean, this is similar 10, 12 plus feet of storm surge could happen in some of those areas.
All right, National Hurricane Center is saying the outermost part of Idalia is already affecting the Florida Keys.
Run away from the water, and then you hide from the wind.
We don't need to hear politicians. Like, this is where we need a politician. This is where we need specifically a politician running for president. Nah, just go away. Get a bunch of God, I almost said just get a bunch of scientists. But then I'm like, it's 2023, so nobody wants to hear from scientists either. Just a guy running for president who's at war with Disney. That's who they want to hear from. We can't trust scientists anymore. Ugh. Anyway, Idalia, it looks like it's going to be a big one. Looks like it is. As of last night, it wasn't really. I was looking at it. Here, let's pull it up, shall we? It didn't really look like a hurricane last night. It was misshapen. Now it's starting to form right in that area between Havana, Cuba, and Miami, and it's going to the left. And it looks like Tampa. Is Tampa going to get crushed? Is this thing heading right for Tampa, Florida? It looks like it. All right, hold on. Let's pull this up so you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, Hurricane Idalia. Let's see. Got any good maps here? Hell, I like to just go to Google Maps. Let's see here. What's this? We got a little movie? What do they got? Yeah, let's check this out.
Watches and warnings stand, but we do have a change. Here's a look at the latest advisory for Hurricane Idalia, and we do have some changes. Winds are now up to 85 miles per hour. Watches and warnings stand, but we do have a change in the forecast, and those winds have come up slightly. We could be looking at winds now of 125 miles per hour before landfall, which is still expected to be early Wednesday morning along the Big Bend, adjacent of the Appalachee Bay. From there, it will go inland.
What's early?
So conditions from here on in, they start to deteriorate. We're already seeing that in the Keys. Also, the surge forecast has gone up. And look at that. We're now up to the possibility of 10 to 15 feet.
Is that bad?
This could be catastrophic, life-threatening storm surge, as this is expected to be a very powerful storm. There's a look at the power outage forecast, and it will be widespread, just as you would expect, across Florida and even inland. And also the rain is going to be significant, with the potential for locally 12 plus inches.
All right. Anyway, all of this is going to be going down. All right. Hold on. Appreciate you, my friend. Hurricane Idalia, it's going to hit tonight, like late night tonight. Like probably they're saying like after midnight, early morning. I guess that's what it is. Here's something that I saw this morning about it that I thought was really wild. Although I don't know if it was wild, because these weather guys that are doing live shots, where they're pretending like it's windier than it is, that kind of shit, that performative garbage. There is no reason for a reporter to be outside in that weather reporting live, other than to attempt to manipulate the viewing audience by showing them craziness. That's not news. You can put a camera outside and you can show everything, but that's not what the shot's about. The shot's about the performance of the reporter. It's really windy out here. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to. Hold on. Bob, are you guys okay? All right, you guys make sure that you're safe. I'm out here, and they act like they're doing us this great service. Shut up, you idiot, and get inside. We got cameras. We can put a camera out there. Moron. Look, all these little microaggressions that the media doesn't even think that's wrong. Like, I imagine somebody who's worked and been doing this kind of nonsense for the past 20 years might hear me say that, and if they were thoughtful enough, they might go, I had never considered that. That's just how we do it. Start considering it. You know why? Because you've burned every bridge with us, the faithful unwashed, the people out here who have been sucking from your teas, getting all the information that you found fit. Stop it. We're on to you. We know it's all a game. Anyway, be ready for that. Be ready for a whole bunch of performative weather studs. Anyway, I did see one of these things this morning I was interested by. I was like, okay, what's this idiot weather stud doing? And he had like a temperature thing. And I'd never seen this before. But the story that he was talking about was the water temperature in Florida. And he's like, now, normally this time of year, people would come here and describe this water as being like bath water. But here, I want to show you something. Dude, he put the thing in. He described it, the water around Florida right now, as being like a hot tub, like being crazy hot. Like he said, hotter than he has ever felt the water. And all I could think is, that can't be good. I don't know. And he's like, and that's fuel for a hurricane. So they're really trying to. Well, see, this is it. See, they don't have good faith anymore. We don't have any good faith. So it's like they're either sincerely trying to warn us that something bad is happening, or, and this is the problem with not having any faith in these people anymore, we're all thinking, oh, shut up. Yeah, I used to be like, don't leave. Why would, or leave, get out of there, run to safety. And now there's people that, they stay. Now when I see these people stay, I'm like, I can't blame them. I wouldn't, because I'm always like, yeah, it might be bad. Let's just go inland for a bit. But there are people who are defiant about, I don't believe the media, and I can't really blame them. I tell you. All right, a little bit more that we're learning now about the UNC shooting that we covered yesterday. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. There was a shooting in the Science Building yesterday. Happened right in the middle of the show. We broke in, as we do with all breaking news. We tried to cover it from tip to toe if we could. And, here's what we know. We didn't know anything. Here's what we knew yesterday. All right, we knew that there was a shooting. We knew the police were looking for an Asian guy in a silver Nissan. That's it. That's all we knew. That's all we knew. And then now there was a lot of people saying stuff. I heard it's a carload of people. We heard all that. But what we knew as we were listening to it live were those things. There was a shooting. Who was shot? We don't know. How many were shot? No idea. Was it just one shot? Maybe. We don't know. But there's a shooting on the University of North Carolina. Everybody locked down. There was videos circulating of children in schools 5 miles away jumping out of second floor windows. Now we know why. Was it, I hate America and everybody must die? Good, good, good. Was it black people are the worst? Good, good, good. Like we saw, in Jacksonville. Was it the election was stolen? Good, good, good. Was it trans rights are important? Good, good, good. Whatever. Was it any of those things? No. What it's starting to look like it was that had kids in schools 5 miles away jumping out of second floor windows. What it turns out it was a doctoral student who had beef with his professor. That's it. One dead. And I don't mean to minimize it. What I'm saying is, wow, what a weird way to say it. Thankfully, just one dead. Thankfully, this wasn't that thing. This wasn't, I'm going to strap up and I'm going to kill it. It wasn't that. You know what it was? It was a 31-year-old doctoral student who, the second week of classes, getting into it with his professor, kills his professor. Wasn't going to kill anybody out. Like, this wasn't like, I'm killing everybody on my way out. No. Shot and killed. Crime. This was crime. This was everyday American crime. It was a murder. It was a beef between two people, and one of them had a gun, and that dude lost his shit, and now somebody's dead. That happens every single day. But now, because of, the media, we got kids jumping out of second floor windows. Seriously. Did you see those videos? I'll show. Well, I don't even know if I shared them because I don't have access to it because I didn't share it. I was going to go to my Twitter and go, I think I shared. I don't think I shared that. I think I went, ugh, and just got so angry. So here, what do we know about this guy? Let's find out what we know about this UNC dude. Okay. Here, we'll give you the details because the dust has settled and it's a day later. UNC Chapel Hill faculty member killed in shooting that left community locked down for hours. If this had happened between a stock boy and the proprietor at JJ's Liquor at 79th and Halstead, I'm pretty sure kids wouldn't have been jumping out of second-story windows 5 miles away. What I'm saying is, why did the media choose to gin this one up? This was just a shooting. It happens. We have these shootings. What do you say to me, boy? You better pay me my money. I ain't paying you your money. You better pay me my money. Bam. And then, shooting. It's not like, let's lock everything down. Oh, but it happened on the campus of a university. So you're telling me that before this era, there was never a shooting on the University of North Carolina campus? Of course there was. Was the school locked down in 1975 when some hippie felt ripped off in a pot deal and shot some dude? Did they lock down? Did kids 5 miles away jump out of second-story windows? It's a combination of things that are happening to us. It's what we're being fed from the media. And, for the longest time, I was a defender of the media. I'm a member of the media. I think the media is a good thing. I don't think the media is a good thing. I think the media is a crucial thing. We have to be informed. So, this whole thing, no media is good. No, everything that you ingest that gives you information, that brings media, that's media. I mean, this is media. This is me, but now I'm yelling about me. That's the other thing that bothers me. And again, folks, I want to remind you, this show is a stream of consciousness rant. So if I'm jumping around, that's why. It bothered. Okay, let's stay focused. Sorry. I'm done with my media rant. I'm done. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. It's all a manipulation. And way too many of you cherry pick your media. All of that is bad, but not this because I like it because this guy tells me what I think is right. You're an idiot. Stop it. It's the exact same situation. I won't watch CNN, Fox, or MSNBC, but I'll tell you that Newsmax. Oh, shut up. You're an idiot. You are a moron. Same reason we have 5% approval rating in Congress, because every congressman is a loser, except for mine, except from the one that comes from my district. He met little Tommy at the county pancake breakfast once, and he tousled his hair. Little Tommy, we're voting for him forever. He's a good guy. All the other ones are bad. You other people need to vote out your guy. But you see, all the other people have the exact same feeling about their guy. Their guy's the one that's fighting for us. He sponsored my son's Little League team. You think I'm not going to vote for? So this is what we have. Same with media. We cherry pick the ones that. So this is going to continue to happen. We're going to be led down this path by media. Whenever they sniff, ooh, this could be good. This could be good for ratings. They're going to blow it up. And they did. They blew it up. Now, let's move on to the other one that happened that they didn't blow up because it happened on a Sunday, right? Jacksonville. Was that a Sunday or a Saturday? This didn't get blown up the way UNC did. And when I say blown up, I mean all the networks going like, for at least 2-3 hours in the middle of their day with round-the-clock coverage. Jacksonville, which happened the other day, we also did a live report on that as it unfolded. We listened to some of the nonsense from beginning to end there. That one didn't get any coverage. They got some, but not a whole lot, because it happened on a weekend. And, Anderson Cooper's on his yacht. You're not going to get him off his yacht. If these things happen to occur at times that are convenient for us to rally our big name talent to go on the air and gin us all up, then so be it. But if they happen on weekends, I mean, it's like... So we do know more now about the Jacksonville situation. We want to read the manifestos, right? Isn't that the rally call after all of these things? We want the manifestos, and they're not out. Man who killed 3 at Dollar General in Jacksonville used to work at a dollar store. Well, in 2023, haven't we all? Or won't we all soon be working at a dollar store? I've never had somebody ring me up at a Dollar Tree that didn't have at least one brown tooth. They also are more often than not going to have some sort of indecipherable tattoo right here. Notice that when they're checking you out, they'll have something there, and 9 times out of 10, you're not going to know what the hell that is. That could be like some kind of alien thing. I don't know. Jacksonville, Florida. The Jacksonville shooter used to work at a dollar store and stopped at one before a security guard's presence apparently led him to the Dollar General and said, okay, so what they're saying is he worked at a Dollar Tree. I read the article. I can paraphrase it. He worked at a Dollar Tree for like a year, and then he left. And on the day of the shooting where he walked into the Dollar General and began killing people, he had before that stopped at a Family Dollar. And there was like a thought that he was planning to do it at a Family Dollar. Now, why is that interesting? The Family Dollar and the Dollar Tree are the same company. They're the same company. They just have different names. The same owner, they are the same. They have the same products. It's the exact same product that's $1.25 in a nice, clean Dollar Tree. Because remember, there's a difference. I have a pecking order. The item that's $1.25 at the nice clean Dollar Tree is the exact same item that's $2.25 at the Family Dollar. So go to the Dollar Tree. It's cleaner, and everything's $1.25. The stuff they can't sell for $3 at the Family Dollar goes to the Dollar Tree. Probably, I don't know. That's how I would do it. I don't work in logistics for dollar brands, but my point is this. When he was chased out, the gunman in Saturday's shooting, he was chased out of the parking lot of the college. Oh, that's the other thing. When we were covering it live, we showed you a video, and I said I was very skeptical of the video. I said, this is video supposedly of a couple of dudes filming the shooter putting on his tactical gear in the parking lot of a college. And then this college is near where the shooting occurred. And we showed that video, and I was like, I don't know what this is. But as we watched the video, I'm like, well, this does track with everything that we know or what we've been told. And what we were told was that the shooter first went to the black college. It's a historically black university. Went there, suited up, and then was chased out of there by security. And we saw that in the video. We saw in the video that we watched on Saturday or Sunday or whenever it was. We saw that in the video. So I'm like, oh, maybe this video is real. Turns out that video is real. That video is absolutely real. Those were two kids. And the reason I know it's real is because one of the police officers was discussing that and saying that he did not believe that the HBU, the historically black university where this took place, was the target. Because if it was the target, if it was where he was intending to shoot, he would have shot two gentlemen. And this is what the cops said. There were two gentlemen also in the parking lot filming him openly. And that's the video we saw. And the cop just confirmed that that was real video. So he gets chased out of there by campus security. They don't light him up or anything. They just like, okay, get on out of here. And he drives down the road. If you remember when we were doing the map, I went to the Family Dollar first too, because the Family Dollar is like only about a quarter mile down the road. And as we were going through the Google Maps while this story was happening live, I'm like, oh, wait, there it is. Here it is. This is where it took place. It was a Family Dollar. And then we're all like, no, wait, it was a Dollar General. So we had to go up the road about another mile, half mile or so, before we got to the Dollar General where the shooting occurred. Now, the reports are that he drove from the campus to the Family Dollar, that place that we mistakenly thought. He drove to the Family Dollar, and his intent was to do the shooting at the Family Dollar, but the Family Dollar had an armed guard standing at the door. And so he decided, no, he wasn't going to do that. Now, why did he want Family Dollar? Police are speculating it's because he worked for Dollar Tree. They fired him, that he had a problem with this company, and that, that Family Dollar and Dollar Tree are the same company. And that's maybe what he was doing. But there was a security guard there. So he turned around, and what did he do? Remember when I was talking about this, the pecking order of the dollar stores? He went to the Dollar General, and we saw that Dollar General. They didn't have, their lawn isn't mowed. They got weeds growing through the cracks all over. It looks like a shit place. And they are sure as hell not paying for a security guard. So that's why I went to the Dollar General, pulled into the Dollar General. Now we know what happened in the Dollar General. He parks his car. Apparently, he leaves the door open. The car was left with the door open. He got out of the car, and he immediately started walking through the parking lot. He killed his first victim, an Uber driver who was sitting in their car. The Uber driver was just sitting there waiting on their next thing, and this monster walks by. Boom, bullet in the head, dead. Walks into the store, immediately shoots an employee who is standing there at the register. You'll walk in, you'll see like an employee. First he walks in, shoots that guy dead. Then another person tries to run, and he shoots that person dead. And then the third one, I guess I don't know. But he killed 3 people, and then he killed himself. Now, there was no shootout. There was no, reports earlier was he's barricaded himself in. Apparently that wasn't the case. Here's what we know. I'll read you the story. The Jacksonville shooter used to work at a dollar store and stopped in at one before a security guard's presence apparently led him to target the Dollar General, which was just down the road, where he killed 3 people. He worked at a Dollar Tree, blah, blah. We don't care about that. Problems working at a dollar. Based off what we saw, him stopping off at the Family Dollar and working at a Dollar Tree previously, and then him going to Dollar General, that was his intent the whole time, Waters said. Why that store? Still hard to tell. Well, poor people. Poor people. That's it. By the way, this kid was not rich. He came from a rich family. He came from a working class parents. I always feel bad. His parents are like, he was crazy. His parents are like, he was crazy. We knew it. We got him help. We even had him, institutionalized a couple of years ago. He bought a gun. We said, you can't have guns. You can't bring a gun into this house. You're crazy. These are his parents. He did it anyway. And his parents, how can you be? We're just enacting these laws in Florida to protect parents. Well, these parents were helpless. These parents who lived with this kid, these parents knew he shouldn't have a gun. And he went and bought a gun because he was a grown-up man in the state of Florida. That's it. That's all it takes. Doesn't matter that he was Baker acted because he was crazy. It doesn't matter that there are just files and files about him being crazy from school, from the state. And he still just was able to walk in and buy a gun and then bring it home. And his parents were like, no, you can't have a gun. And they were powerless. Powerless. And, he's 22, so they're powerless anyway. But you would like the people who know him better than anyone, who's going, he's crazy. We sent him to special hospitals and everything. He's crazy. Those people who know that are being met with, everyone has a right to buy a gun. No questions asked. That's what they're being met with. But he's crazy. He's dangerous. He's going to go buy a gun. He's going to kill people. He doesn't like black people. I can tell you that. Second Amendment. Okay, no movement. 2023, folks. No nuance, no conversation, no let's work in the best interest of all of us. Nah, none of that. Just, this is my position, and only a fucking pussy backs down. That's where we are. That's where we are. All right, that's the Jacksonville story. We did the UNC. That was just a doctoral student with beef. Jacksonville, crazy MFer who shouldn't got a gun, but Second Amendment. Okay, teen. Here's a story. Here's another story. Here's another dark story. I don't know why I'm doing these dark stories. I'm not all that dark. I'm not feeling dark. There's a lot of dark stories today. A kid got killed, a teenager, man. This is just kids. McDonald's over sauce. Over like a dipping sauce. Gunplay erupted. Teen killed outside McDonald's in sweet and sour sauce dispute. A 16-year-old girl was a girl. These are girls who are packing. These are girls who are scrapped. A 16-year-old girl was charged with fatally stabbing another 16-year-old girl outside of McDonald's on a busy DC nightlife corridor this weekend. In a fight, a police detective said stemmed from an argument over sweet and sour sauce. Naomi Lagone, the slain teen, from everybody's so hard, man. Everybody's so hard. That's how you got to be in this world, right? You got to be a hard ass. Everybody, fuck you looking at. You got to be a badass. Everybody's a badass. Everybody's hard, and every other person has a gun, whether they should be allowed to have one or not. So, do the math. We're going to have this. We're going to cry for this dead little 16-year-old. Why? What's the point? Nobody cares. Here's what they care about. Me talking about the story right now and all of us in the moment going, oh, that's so sad. Why? Because that makes us feel something. Oh, that's so sad. Moving on. And we move on. And then it happens again and we go, that's so sad. And then we move on. Nobody cares. We don't care. We are so short-sighted. All right. Yeah, a lot of this is, but by the way, I should tell you that a lot of these indictments that I hurl at humanity in general, they all come because of the human I know best, me. I know me. I know what my instincts are. So all these things that I am saying, I'm describing myself. I am simply projecting it out there. But no, I'm not, we are all broken. We are all challenged, and it is difficult to be good. But how about we try it? How about instead of just everybody being hard, everybody being a badass, how about just, what's up, man? Hey, how are you? Hey, good to see you. Why, nobody smiles anymore. Nobody smiles. That is like the number one thing that you can do when you meet something. Just smile at them. Sincerely, not maniacally like a crazy person. Smile at them. Take the edge off, but we don't do that because we're all afraid. I'm afraid of nothing. Nah, you are inside. You're afraid. You're like outwardly, you're like, I'm afraid of that guy, kick his ass. No, but what you are afraid of is being challenged. You are afraid that, you may have to be in a position where now you've got to fight. And, so come on, stop it. Everyone's afraid. So that's why you meet new people. You're like a dog. You meet new people. You're like, what's up? Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, how you doing, man? Like really cool, like really cold. Like I'm not giving you anything. You're another human being. I'm sharing nothing with you. I'm just seeing you right now as a potential threat because you're a mystery and I don't know you. So what's up, man? What's up? How about, hey, man, how are you? Nice to meet you. Can't we just start being nice to everybody? How about we don't even have to be nice? Can't we just be cool? Can't we all just try? Here's what we should aim for. We should all aim to be somebody who, when we meet somebody else for the first time, they're in a couple hours going to go, hey, that guy was cool. That was a nice guy. I'm glad you introduced me to him. Everybody needs to aim for that. But no, too many of us are out here aiming for, oh, that guy seems like a real badass. I wouldn't want to cross him. Shut up, bunch of posers. I'll punch you when you need to be punched. But before we get to that point, let's just laugh. Let's just see if we can have some fun. Teen killed for sauce. So there you go. That's my sauce. That's my sauce. I got a gun. Pop, pop. Dead kid. This is some video. Some crazy video, you guys. See this? This happened yesterday. I didn't see it till after we did the show yesterday, which sucks. Pompano Beach, Florida. There was a helicopter crash yesterday. I don't know if you guys got to see this. Let's watch this. I've been in a helicopter a couple of times. I don't like them. I can tell you flat out I don't like them. You know what else I don't like? I don't like a blimp. I was in a blimp. I didn't like that. You know what I'll never go in? A hot air balloon. Nope, never going in a hot. That's why I draw the line. I draw the line at hot air balloons. I was in a blimp. I was in Pink Floyd's Division Bell blimp. Remember Division Bell? There's an album like in the late 90s. They toured the country with their big blimp, and they landed it in different cities, and they loaded it up with DJs, and we all went for a ride. I did not like it. Did not like my time in the helicopter. I mean, I've been in helicopters a couple times, short trips, all that kind of stuff. I just don't like them either. They seem there's a lot of noise. Like there's a lot of like I don't know. I don't like helicopters. Anyway, this was a helicopter. I don't know the details on this. I should probably try and find that out. But here, let's watch this. This thing came down and landed on an apartment complex, for crying out loud. Ugh. Pompano Beach, Florida yesterday. Look at this. There it is. So now right here. So like right here. Something, I mean, this isn't just they're having engine problems. Look at the tail. The tail of the helicopter seems to have snapped. I'll watch it again from the beginning. So it turns, like right there, like that tail is broken. How did the tail snap? And now look at it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, goodness gracious. Look at that thing. Yeah. All right. I'm done with helicopters. No more helicopters. I mean, it's not like I get options, you know. Hey, would you like to go in my helicopter? That's not something that has ever happened to me. So it's not a big give up for me to say no more helicopters. You know what else? No more space flights. I'm not going to outer space anymore either. No thanks. Look at that. That tail is just, my God. All right, there you go. That happened in Pompano Beach, Florida yesterday. 4 people were injured. The people in the helicopter didn't die. At least I don't know if they died yet. Hold on, wait. Let me died yet. What an a-hole thing for me to say. That's what happens when you're just streaming, when you're just saying whatever pops into your head. Pompano Beach helicopter crash. Well, let's see what the update is here because watching it. Oh, God, they're dead. 4 injured. Okay, so the last time I read the story was yesterday when I learned about it, and there were 4 people. Nobody was dead. They were rushed to the hospital, but 2 are dead. Oh, my God. Oh, a resident was killed. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. NBC6 South Florida reporting. Here's the 4 other people. BSO, Broward County. I guess that's Broward County. Broward something. BSO fire captain and resident killed when rescue helicopter crashes into Pompano Beach building. 4 other people. Okay, got to turn that off. 4 other people, including 2 helicopter crew members and 2 civilians, were transported to a local hospital from the scene. Okay, so we watched the video. All right, so here's the story. An air rescue flight paramedic and a woman who was in her home were killed, and 4 people were hospitalized after a Broward Sheriff's Office fire rescue helicopter crashed into an apartment building in Pompano Beach Monday morning. Federal Aviation Administration officials said, why not? Why not? While I'm reading the story, you might as well see it, right? Keep it up there. Boop. There it goes. Federal Aviation Administration officials said 3 crew members were on board the helicopter when it went down around 8:45. Cell phone footage from a witness showed smoke and flames coming from the helicopter before it spun around and quickly fell from the sky. The tail of the chopper appeared to be damaged and coming apart as it made its downward spiral. Yeah, it looked like it snapped right off. Let's see here. Oh, we got some more videos here. Okay, so here, let me do this. Hold on, guys. All right. All right, here. Let me see if I can pull this up from here because we got more video. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Let's see. Witness footage showed a portion of the building. Okay. BSO officials said the chopper was heading to a vehicle crash scene on North Lauderdale when it crashed into a 1-story multi-unit apartment building. Witness footage showed a portion of the building completely on fire with thick black smoke rising into the air. On top of the roof, there was all fire. It was a big ball of fire. That's all. And then, like I said, a second explosion. Witness Ruben Chavez said, we felt the heat. So that's when we said, okay, we've got to go. Yeah. Okay. So here, let me show you some of this. So this is the house that it landed on. So so that's the video. Yeah. All right. So that's the video of the plane falling out of the sky. So now this is the video of the house it landed on. Oh, my goodness. A woman was killed. I mean, just, oh, God. You guys, don't just go, yeah, a woman got killed when the helicopter fell out of the sky. No. Ponder just for a moment the precarious nature of our very existence. I could be sitting here right now. Oh, my God, this woman, it happened in the morning. So, maybe she's puttering around. I don't have an age or anything. Well, let me see. Do they say an age? Because maybe that'll be better for the painting of the picture. Okay. Has she not been identified? 2 helicopter crew members were able to crawl to safety after the crash. They were identified as pilot Darren Roach, 37, and paramedic Michael Mike Chikugacha, 31. All right, so two of the guys in the helicopter escaped. Witness video showed 2 crew members climbing down the roof of the building shortly after the crash. Oh my God. Imagine that. You're in a helicopter crash, you survived, and then you're on a roof and it's burning. You got to climb off the building. Good Lord. So give me some information on the woman. I want to know about the woman. Tony said, no. So all of the information that I'm seeing here is having to do with the firemen, and it's the official statement of the Broward County Fire Rescue that is naming them. I'm not seeing a name or an age on the woman. The civilian who is just in her apartment early in the morning, probably making coffee, wearing a bathrobe. Maybe she put a little something down for the cat. I don't know. She's got a cat. She's got a dog, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So I'm guessing that the person is not being identified yet because they're a citizen, and maybe next of kin has to be notified. You can't make it public. Anyway, just imagine that. Imagine how. I mean, seriously, just. This is why I get so angry. It's like you ain't got. Why you being an a-hole whenever you see? Why are you coming in hot? Why are you coming in? Look, what's up, dude? Do you realize that your next breath could be your last? Why? I don't know. Could be any number of reasons. Could be a million reasons. Why you want to go out like a dick? Just come on. We could all die in any moment. Like this woman who was just puttering around her house. And this isn't like this is the complete randomness of this existence. This wasn't like, well, it was in one of them neighborhoods. No, this was just a woman in a building. In the morning, she wakes up. I mean, look, she could have had a massive heart attack. That can happen. You can your next step could be the one that doesn't get through. Your next step could be the one that, boom, makes everything back up. Brain aneurysms. Be in the middle of a conversation with your kid, and then all of a sudden you start slurring, and your kid's like, what's wrong? And you're like, I don't know, I got a headache. And then you're like, I'm going to go lay down, and you lay down and you die, right? Or this. Or you could be sitting at a stoplight and some idiot in a stolen car, or hell, maybe just a normal citizen who made a mistake can come barreling through a freaking red light or green light. You're dead instantly. This woman, God, that's freaky. All right, I got to move on from this story because that is freaky. She's just hanging out in her house, and now she's dead. And I know that happens a lot. I have someone that I went to high school with who had this crazy thing happen. Her mom was just watching TV on the couch in the living room, and a car drove through the house and killed her. A car blew a stop line. Their house was at like a T section, where you came to a stop sign and you had to make a right or a left. if you went straight, you were going to drive right into a house. Well, somebody did that one night. Some drunk drove right into the house, killed her. I mean, that's just how crazy anything could happen at any time. Go to a concert, you could be shot, right? Go to a Target, you could be shot. You could also have a brain aneurysm. All I'm saying is, let's stop being worried and fearful about all these other things. Life is very, very precarious to begin with, okay? So let's just try and make every breath and every moment that we all experience this life together cool. Okay, moving on. Just be cool. Just be cool, man. It's so easy. But how do you be cool when you're not getting what I want? Well, you not getting what you want and you not being okay with it is uncool. So just be cool with not getting what you... That's the hard part, right? But I don't like that. Well, nobody cares, my friend. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that you don't like it. But keep yelling on Twitter and keep ginning people up and keep getting other people angry and then do absolutely nothing about it because you're all talk. And all you do is put poison out there. Poison is bad energy. Let's see what else we have. Eminem is trending today. Eminem is trending because Eminem doesn't like that Vivek. You know, the Vivek Ramaswamy. Is that his name? I'm saying it right. I want to be respectful. Ramaswamy. I think that's it. Vivek Ramaswamy. He sucks. He sucks. I mean, he's like, I just look at that guy, and the more I hear from the constant smile, he is selling you a car, baby. He is selling you a car. And you people are like, I kind of like him. He seems nice. Every car dealer you've ever met seemed really nice. No, you didn't. You never walked onto a car dealership and went, oh, this guy's an asshole. And then he walked up and went, what's up, butt munch? I ain't selling you a car. Get off my... That's not how it works. People were trying to sell you something. They're going to be your best friend. First 10 minutes, you're like, that guy's cool. Unless you're a good judge of character, which is why it's hard. You have to look at things. You have to know about manipulation. You yourself have to be a manipulator. Yeah. I'm a reform manipulator. I'm a reform manipulator because now I see my son becoming a master manipulator. And I'm like, okay, all right, I can't be setting any examples. I got to. All right, so Eminem is mad at Vivek, who, as I said, I've determined to be a bad soul. However, though, I read a story today. My girl Nikki looks like she's got something, huh? Nikki's kind of Nikki. There were after. I love this. After the debates, it's like who won the debate, and then it's always like something crazy because the campaigns pack their online polls. They like it. All right, how many 100,000 people do we have that are going to make us say that we won that poll? Right, so that's what happens. So you can't believe any of the after immediately after who won the debate. You can't believe that shit. That's nonsense. That's rigged. Or at the very least, it's manipulatable. What you got to believe is like a week later, when the next set of wide-ranging polls come out and you see Nikki Haley jumping up 10 points because of her debut or because of her performance on the debate. I thought she was the best. I thought she was absolutely the best. Jeez Louise, man, we just need somebody who's going to say, this is all stupid. Can we just calm down and be reasonable? And that's kind of the lane that she seems to have chosen. And I'm okay with it. I like that lane. All right. Eminem is trending because he doesn't like Vivek using his music. Vivek, do you remember that weird, so cringy where Vivek was in Iowa and he came out and he started rapping to some Eminem and he wasn't doing it like a joke, like where you're doing it as a joke and you're having fun with it and people are laughing. No, he was doing it like, I've done this before and I'm very good at it. And now I'm going to do it for you. And it was weird because there was he's so phony to begin with that there's no when you're watching him, it was bad. It was bad. If you saw it, it was bad. So Eminem, he publicly said, he's like, look, I don't want that. So now they've gone even further. BMI, who is the music publishing arm of all the different record companies and all that stuff, BMI has the rights. You have to go to BMI if you want to be Vivek Ramaswamy and you want to walk out on stage to whatever. I'm trying to think of an Eminem song. My name is, right? You want to walk out to that, which is what I think he was walking out to. Anyway, you have to, if you're doing it legally, you have to be licensed through BMI to use that music to play in front of a crowd that is gathered to come see you. So that's what you got to do. So you got to buy the licensing. And of course, all the campaigns do. All the campaigns buy the licensing, and they had a deal with BMI. And Eminem went to BMI and said, yeah, no, he can't use my stuff. I didn't know that was being used in that way. So BMI has now redone the contract. So Vivek is no longer, he has expressly been told he does not, he has the right to the BMI catalog to use the music. He does not have the right to use any Eminem music. So there you go. Eminem doesn't like it. He doesn't like it, he says. Here's a picture that was going around. I wanted to show you guys. It was Michael Jackson's birthday. We talked about that. Happy birthday, Michael Jackson. Here's somebody. This was going around earlier. It's a picture of what Michael Jackson would look like today. Like, it's because he's older, right? So 14 years since he's been dead. What was he, 50? So this is like going to be a late 60s Michael. How old would Michael be? I don't want to do the math. Anyway, here's a picture of what a computer or something. I don't know, whoever does these things. AI reveals what Michael Jackson would look like today, 14 years later. What the fudge? There's no X. There is no... Here, I'll show you what I'm dealing with right now. That's what I'm dealing with right now. Look at this. There. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm dealing with... That's a pop-up, but there's no X. There it is. Now it's there. Good Lord. There he is. Look at him. That's Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jackson. He looks mean. He looks evil. It's like AI created this. AI must have taken all of the stuff about Michael Jackson and didn't have any sort of sentimental attachment to the music. So it was all just stats driven. And here, he looks like an angry pedophile. Yeah, the AI spit out a guy. He's obviously bad, right? Because all the kid stuff. So the AI just went with make him evil. He's yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, it looks like 70-year-old Michael Jackson. How old will Michael Jackson be? I don't know. I could do the math. I don't want to do the math. I'm too lazy to do the math. How old would Michael Jackson be? 64. Okay, 64. He was 50 when he died? Wow. I didn't know he was 50. I didn't know I outlived Michael Jackson. That is crazy. For some reason, I always think Michael Jackson's like, wow, okay. So he was 50 when he died. All right, there you go. That's what AI thinks Michael Jackson looks like. And they went and they made evil pedophile Michael Jackson. Because that's what AI would do. Because the only people who tend to like gloss over that stuff, which was a very large part of his brand, especially in the last 20 years of his life, people will gloss over that because of Thriller. Because they'll be like, yeah, but I love Thriller. You know, it won't do that in AI. And AI is just like, there was a lot. So I imagine when the AI created Michael Jackson, they made him look like a pedophile, scary guy. What else do we have here? Okay, so I want to show that. I guess I don't. Well, do I need to show this? Here. Elon Musk Elon Musk is such a dork. Oh, God, this guy. One of the worst human beings on the planet. He is just. No, go. Yeah, keep carrying water for him. Go ahead. Yeah, you keep going. No, Musk is cool. Yeah, you keep going. You keep carrying water for old Elon Musk. He's a weird guy, dude. He is a weird guy. So he went to and his brand is this whole Twitter thing. And yeah, I'm still calling it Twitter. This whole Twitter thing, man, has really screwed up his personal brand. And it's got to be affecting like Tesla and stuff. Well, I know that it's affecting Tesla because we did a story a few months back about how Tesla sales are like way down. And the people who used to be the only people buying Teslas, they were the only ones getting those, liberal, environmentalist, California, Hollywood types. That's who bought Teslas. They ain't buying them anymore. They see Elon Musk as being like a negative to their brands. I can't be associated with them. So anyway, he shows up at this big gamer, gamers video game. No, this is a whole thing where like, people, there's going to be stadiums built where you're just going to watch people play video games. Trust me, it's coming. I mean, they already have them, but I don't consider, I'm talking stadiums. I'm talking like an AT&T stadium for the Dallas drone operators taking on the Philadelphia robotics team. I'm just telling you, I don't even know what it's about. But anyway, so Elon Musk goes to this big event, this big gamer event, the Super Bowl of gaming, they called it. And he showed up. They showed him on camera, and the entire place booed him. Now, who's at this place? Young people, tech people. That's a bad brand. He's got bad brand problems right now, Elon Musk. All right, so here we got the video. I want to show the video basically just because, where is the video? I want to show the video because I want to talk about what this is, because I don't know forget about Elon Musk being booed. I want to talk about what is this here. Maybe this is it. Yeah. This is a thing. This is like, there's money in this. This is a thing. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Nope, never mind. Hold on, guys. Hold on, I promise you. We'll get to it. Here we go. All right, so this is the video of him being booed. All right. Boop. But look at this event. That's what I'm really wanting. That's what really has me sort of tweaked here. This event, this thing is huge. Okay, so there you see it. Are you shared? Yeah. Okay, what you're seeing there is in the shadows. That's being shown on the video screens at this event where this is the Super Bowl of gaming or whatever, some specific game. I don't know anything about it. But they're showing Elon here and the crowd boos.
And close. Where's that from? That can't be from in here, surely.
Is that a bigger reaction than 10's got?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn. Must be nice. 10-5.
10-5?
Focus back on the game now. Paper X. Another challenge for them.
What?
10 rounds.
I feel like an alien watching a baseball game.
Paper X to try and close.
All right, so there you go. It wasn't really a big deal. It's just I found it interesting. Man, his brand is just bad. Like, he shows up places and people are like, you suck. And it didn't used to be that way. It used to be, hey, you're the new Edison. And now it's like, you suck. It's just weird. But what was that? What were we looking at? What's it? They got broadcast teams. How much do they make? They got to be making. Look, here's what do you think? What do you think those people make? All right, I'll tell you. I got a good idea because I do a lot of them shit little freelance things. I'll tell you what those broadcasters made. $200, $250 maybe. I don't know. They stopped. One of them had a British accent. You pay more for a British accent because everybody with a British accent, especially if it's a woman, seems more legit, seems more serious. The other guy, I don't know. But they've got broadcast. They got broadcasters. They're doing it from these things, these big arenas. There are like these gaming centers, right? These are things that exist. Where I don't know, man. I know that colleges are now giving scholarships to gamers. You're never gonna go anywhere sitting in front of that Atari. That's what parents. You know what? Parents are idiots. Do you know all of those kids who refuse to go outside? They got fat and pasty. All of those kids are making shit tons of money. They are because they spent their entire life cultivating the skills of today. You know what we need? We need people to be able to fly drones through crowded markets in, Southeast Asia. We need somebody with those skills. Guess who's got those skills? Somebody who's been playing 15 years of, whatever. Some shooter game. Anyway, my point is this. It's getting big. It's big. I feel like I am way behind. I feel like I need to get into it. Like, I don't play games. I don't need to play games. I don't want to play the games. But the culture, the world, the thing that is growing up around it, to a guy like me, I got to think there's some opportunity there. And so I got to learn about this now. Try and find the opportunity. That's how I think. I'm a student of E. That is the way E, our co-host on Radio Misfits. That's how he thinks about everything all the time. Where's the opportunity there? I got to start thinking like that. Here's some bad news for people who like shit TV on HBO. HBO has canceled The Idol. Remember The Idol? The fanfare, the ballyhooed Idol had started The Weeknd and Johnny Depp's daughter. And it was basically like porn. I mean, it was like just really, ooh. I didn't see it. Here's the thing. I thought I was going to see it, like when it was first being promoted. Oh, they're doing this new show. It's going to be incredibly cutting edge and blah, blah, blah. It stars The Weeknd. And I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. And then as I started reading reviews and as it became closer to the debut, I was like, oh my God, this sounds awful. And I never watched a minute of it. But HBO has decided to cut ties, part ways. See, that's brain was moving fast and two words crashed together and I made a new word, cut ways. They decided to cut ways with the doomed sexy show. The Idol canceled inside the quick, messy death of HBO's controversial drama. From the first screening of The Idol at Cannes Film Festival back in May, the warning signs appeared. Instead of the usually effusive ovation from the black tie audience at the Palais des Festivals, tepid applause and awkward side eyes greeted the first two episodes of the HBO drama series. Social media was quick to weigh in with a less subtle verdict about the Lily Rose Depp in barely their outfits as a pop music star jostle. Seriously? That's a sentence that you wrote? That's a sentence. Has nobody gone to journalism school? I can't. It's canceled. I can't read this. Oh, and you know what? I get angry when I read these poorly formed sentences and all this stuff. Bad journalism. I get angry. I always get mad. Bugs. You know where it is most rampant? In gossip. In TV and all of that. These people are morons. They don't spell check. They don't punctuate properly. We're moving on. Hey, here's an interesting one. This is a local kid. Let's talk about Mitchell Musso. You guys know who Mitchell Musso is? Now, Mitchell Musso is a kid that I think we interviewed a couple of times in the old Pugs and Kelly show. He was like Hannah Montana's best friend. He was like a kid. He was from here. I think he was from like Rockwall or something. And, he made it big and, he still lived here because he was a kid, but he was doing the Hannah Montana thing and he became famous. And then we had him on, I want to say at the Grammys one year. He came by and sat with us. Seemed like a nice kid. He was a pop star. He was not a pop star like a singer, but he was like, he was a pop idol, kind of like a Tiger Beat kind of kid. Young girls, 12-year-olds were probably really into him. So he had that going for him. And then he grew up, and I guess everybody can't be Jodie Foster and Leonardo DiCaprio. And some people are just simply forgotten. And he went from being a co-star on Hannah Montana, which is one of the biggest shows ever, to being just another dude who used to have something, who doesn't now, living in Rockwall. And he got arrested there. It does not sound good. It sounds like, man, could you imagine that? That's got to be difficult. Because I understand it. It happened for me, I think in a normal time where life became different, where, we had a successful radio show. We were taking places in limousines. We had dinner reservations made to us by other people. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Just there's like this pampering. You walk into a place and somebody's like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure." That's a whole sort of lifestyle that some people, depending on what they do, they get to experience. This kid got to experience it at like 12. And then it was taken away. And it was taken away from me too. That kind of, it's not anything that you complain about. Like, you're like, oh, I don't like it that people don't recognize me anymore. You can't do that. What kind of person does that? That's a vainglorious idiot. But you can be like I've been in situations where people would be like, hey, we should go to dinner at so-and-so. And, it's hard to get a reservation there. Hey, don't you know so-and-so over there? And then I got to be like, well, yeah, but that was when I had a radio show and they would take my calls. So I experience it a lot. It's no fun. But this poor kid, man, could you imagine? I mean, when I has-been is what we're talking about. When I became a has-been, I was like in my 40s. I was in my 40s and I didn't handle it well. Like, I depression and, what are you going to do? Your life is completely changed now. I'm 40 years old and I've never worked in an office. I've been doing radio on, big time major market stations since I'm 20. I don't know how to do anything. What am I supposed to do? So, you have that. And that's difficult for anybody at any age. But could you imagine if that happens to you? You get it all taken away when you're like 19, 20, and now you're just a 20-year-old. I was going to say all your friends are in college, but your friends aren't in college because you don't have any normal friends. Your friends are all like friends that you were educated with on the studio lot. All right, so what are they? I don't know. And now you're back here. You're living in Rockwall. Like you're a big deal. I'm sure you're a big deal. Like you go to a party, you're 20 years old, you go to a party, people are like, that's Mitchell Musso from Hannah, Montana. And in that generation, that's probably a big deal. He probably doesn't have any money left, So he's like, the expectation that people know who he is. It's like, you're Mitchell Musso from Hannah, Montana. Oh my God. And then you're driving like a shitty car with like a trash bag covering the back, it's duct taped on the back window because you got, that's the sign of a broke dude. If you can't get your window fixed like immediately, you have to drive around that's a broke dude. So here's the story. This doesn't sound that bad, honestly, but he's been in trouble a lot. He seems to really drink. Hannah, Montana star Mitchell Musso arrested for public intoxication and theft. Hannah Montana star Mitchell Musso is facing more legal trouble. The actor who starred alongside Miley Cyrus in the Disney show was arrested in Texas. Rockwall, he was arrested. Around 7:15 on Saturday. Police in Rockwall, Texas say. About 23 miles northeast of downtown Dallas, police responded to a disturbance at a local hotel. Now, he lives in Rockwall, but he's hanging out at a local hotel in Rockwall. Let's stop right there. Do you have any hotel? Well, if you live in a suburb, you should probably never go to the hotel in that suburb because you live in that suburb. Maybe you go to a wedding. Maybe there's some kind of a banquet at the banquet. But that's the extent of you hanging out. This dude, they said he had a room there. So what's he get? He's got a house like a couple blocks away where he lives. But he's checking in. He's not married. It's not like I don't know. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know. But people who hang out at hotels. And by the way, what kind of hotel is this? Figure that out. Let's see. An eyewitness told police officers that an apparently intoxicated person entered the hotel, took a bag of chips, and started eating them. He then became verbally abusive and then left the hotel without paying for the snack. So, so it wasn't a nice hotel. So it was one of those hotels where they have like a couple of bags of chips and stuff like that. And I always wonder, are those free? They're obviously not. Because looking around it, this is a budget hotel. If those were free, they'd be gone. Because everybody would be like, I'm taking them all. Because people have no sense. So he walked into the hotel. He was drunk. He, took the chips. He walked out. He called some names. Apparently he was a dick. They put him in jail, and now we got this. Here, we'll show you his mugshot. There you go. Yeah, he looks drunk. He doesn't look like the little kid that I remember. Boom, there's his mugshot. Hold on a second. All right. Oh, ups. There you go. Look at him. Who's he look like? Oh, whoa, you can't see him. He looks like somebody. Who do you think he looks like? Like Patrick Dempsey, maybe? I don't know. All right. What else do we have here? Let's see. Guys, I think that might be it. Well, look at that. 2 hours, 2:00. Yeah, that's going to be it, folks. We're out of stories. Sorry about that. Well, not sorry. I think I gave you a full show. We do this every Monday through Friday when we can. Again, making sure I'll be giving you updates this week and next week. It's kind of in flux. The future of the show is in doubt. We're not sure. I mean, it's not. It's 2 years of wonderful, wonderful memories, but maybe it's time to pack it up. So thank you so much. I'm not saying this is the last show. I'm just saying that's kind of what we're looking at. So if you want to try and support the show, you can still do that. The tip thing is up there. Drop a little something, help us get through, because I can't do this every month. I can't do this every month. I won't do this every month. The initial plan was to maybe have the show paid for the next month by the middle of the month, and that just doesn't happen. It's never happened. I find myself at the end, begging for you guys to help us get across the line, and it doesn't work. I heard a couple people tip today. That was wonderful. Thank you. I haven't been able to look at them yet. We will be on tonight, James and I at least. He has some issues going on over at his place. They're gutting it. There's a big wall of water that's inside the ceiling or something. And so there's problems there. So E is not going to be joining us for the Radio Misfits show, which comes on at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, not Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at this point. Except there's not going to be a Radio Misfits show tomorrow because my son's got a football game. So I got to go out to that. Let's see. What else do we need to do here? Let's see. We got to give you the closing theme. That's what we got to give you. All right. I love you guys. Be cool. Be cool. Don't be a dick to anybody today just because you're all up in your own feelings. Recognize when you're in a bad mood. Make the appropriate adjustments when encountering people. Or you can just be an asshole, which seems like another option. Watch telemarketers on Max. You'll like it. You'll be affected by it. I shouldn't say you'll like it. I should say you'll be affected by it. There are just some awful people in this world. And they're depicted right there on telemarketers. It's understood. All right, I gotta go. I love you guys. Bye. See you tonight at 9 for Radio Misfits.